When it comes to consulting, one of the most misunderstood concepts is the questions that are asked and the answers that are looked for could be inverted. And you could actually get better answers from understanding the questions that are being asked and why. So, how can you use this in your advantage if you own a business, you're an entrepreneur, or you're an executive? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Sylvan, coming to you live from Consulting Secrets on a perfect day to talk about growth, opportunities, asking questions, answering questions, strategy, and a fantastic day to talk about you. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento. So during the week, I am able to do consulting calls and I'm able to sit in on consulting calls. And one of the most misunderstood concepts that most people miss is the questions that are being asked. So most people focus on what's the answer, and that's cool. And that'll get you part of what you're looking for. But really, if you're sitting and you're thinking, why is the person asking me these questions? What are they trying to get to? What are they trying to achieve? And so one of the strategies that you could do is you can have somebody show up to a consulting gig with you and take notes, or where applicable, see if you can record the conversation. And what you're going to do is it's a duality. You are going to look at the answers that are given by the consultant, but you're also going to take a look and say, why am I being asked these questions? What are these questions leading to? And so sometimes on consulting calls and consulting events, people will be like, I'm on the clock. Like, I only have a certain amount of time with a person. I might have 2 hours or 4 hours or a day with them. And if you could go back and say, hey, I'm going to look at the answers that I gave and I'm going to see if they're accurate, but like, why? Why was I being asked this question? Why was I asked a question in this order? What am I missing? And being curious about that can give you an advantage, because what happens on consulting calls is most people are like, answer, answer, answer. We're going to go run this direction. We're going to make some magic happen. We're going to go close some deals. We're going to go get some business. But on the backside is like, okay, wait a minute. There's another vehicle here. And the question itself can take us to another location. It could be something that could be duplicated on a small level with one or two people in a department. It could be something that could be duplicated in a larger level with a management team. It could be something that could be used in a strategy session in the future. What you're missing out on is the importance of the question and sometimes the direction that those questions are going. Now, I will share with you that sometimes people don't want to look dumb. People don't want to feel dumb. People don't want to be left out. So they really don't answer the question in the way that needs to be answered. So if you're taking note and you're saying, hey, here's my list of questions, one of the things that you could do is you could go back and look at your transcript or go back and think about your answer. Like, was I really giving the right answer? Was I really saying what needed to be said? Was I really doing what needed to be done? Because at the end of the day, if I made up that answer and I gave it, that consultant really didn't get what they needed to know from me in order to help me go the direction that I want to go or do the things that I want to do. So I'm going to challenge you from here on out that if you have the opportunity to sit in and watch a consulting gig, or the next time that you have or being consulted, think about like, why am I being asked these questions, and where did this order come from? How come they asked that just now? What were they thinking? What's the direction? Now, what you can't do on all these questions is reverse and go, that's interesting. Why are you asking me that? But it is appropriate a couple of times in a conversation to say, like, I don't know how that answer or that question helps you. What are you trying to get to? Where are we trying to back into? There's times where people ask me that type of question, but if you do it every time, it's going to slow down the process. So it's got to be strategic. It's got to be one of those things like, I'm curious, like, I'm going to answer you, but I'm curious that what's the why behind the question? And sometimes you can gain an insight that you're like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Or at the end, if you have extra time and you have your list of questions, one of the questions may be, hey, earlier you were asking me something along the lines of 1, 2, 3 or XYZ. I'm kind of curious why you went down that path. What the thing that you were looking for, did we achieve it, or was there something left out? And sometimes what you're going to find is like that ability to go back because you have time on the books allows for you to get to a better question or to get to an answer or to find something that you like, oh my goodness, we data mined here for information that we didn't know that was there. What you're going to find is, hands down, the questions that are being asked almost every time have a reason. And for some of them, you should absolutely know the reason why. It takes a little bit of time and effort to figure that out. But if you can write down the questions that are being asked of you, if you can figure out the sequence of the questions. It'll help you make better decisions. You got one of three things to do from here. Just one of three. Find the subscribe button, click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.